Reggaeton is really like that feeling of like speaking out, being loud, being yourself unapologetically. With that spirit, you know, comes this like amazing like dembow beat, and you're just going hard in the club. It has this sexiness, but this aggressiveness, and it's just part of the culture. It's part of the Latin culture.
Dahlia like this. I'ma step. Boom. Dahlia like this. I'ma step. Boom. I ain't tryna blah. Hey.
Reggaeton has like an incredible history. It started in Panama, like in the Canal Zone, and it was started by a bunch of like West Indian, like Black Panamanians. And it was originated as like Spanish reggae, and it became a way to combat racism and oppression. So it kind of started there and then turned into like Spanish dance hall, and then eventually what we know as reggaeton today.
If you see it like compared to like hip hop, what it was, I think it has a similar story. You know, it comes from, you know, the underground. People are living, you know, the struggles and stuff. And a lot of people started to say it was a phase. It will last like 1 or 2 years and it's gonna disappear. Neglected by a lot of people.
Uno escuchaba reggaetón y quizás tu abuelo decían como que ¿qué es eso? ¿Qué estás escuchando? O quita eso. Pero ya es como que ya se ha vuelto parte de todos y es como que, bueno, esa canción me gusta, esa canción está buena. O pone esa canción de, no sé, artistas como quizás gente de Zona o Luis Fonsi, que han hecho que también sea algo más global y sea algo más audible para todo tipo de público.
So I grew up in Puerto Rico. People from Puerto Rico, they grow up with a lot of music, like from, you know, listening to our grandfathers and our parents. You know, my mom's Dominican, so I heard a lot of merengue growing up. But you also had like my friends' dads are Puerto Rican, so they will have salsa. And, you know, on Christmas, you hear like plena and bomba. But at the same time, you know, we're tied to the States. So, you know, growing up, I used to hear a lot of, you know, the pop music or rock music or hip hop with our own version of, you know, urban type music, which was reggaeton being formed and, you know, rap and reggaeton. So I had like all those mixtures coming in, and I think that has a lot to do with, you know, me being here today and having all these different types of influences.
Growing up, I definitely listened to a lot of like NSYNC and Christina Aguilera and Whitney Houston. But then when I started getting into my older years and going out to the clubs with my fake ID, we would listen to a lot of hip hop, like Lil Wayne, Rick Ross, listen to a lot of reggae, a lot of dance hall, a lot of reggaeton. It's just like club music, like what you would listen to when you go out and party.
La verdad, mi papá tenía una banda de rock. Y él siempre le gustó mucho el rock latino, era muy fan de los Beatles. Y mi mamá era un poco más de fiesta, como de la música de baile, y a ella le gustaba más el reggaetón. Y yo tengo recuerdos así, cuando tenía como 4 o 5 años, de estar escuchando en la radio una canción de Don Omar, no sé por qué siempre recuerdo eso. Y era la música que me gustaba, igual uno niño como que le gustaba la música que te hace bailar y eso, y a mí esa era la música que me gustaba, el reggaetón.
Reggaeton has a really specific set of, you know, samples, like 4 or 5 like specific type of kick drums and, you know, snares. So little by little, I started to like mess around with that and use like a hip hop type of kick or like a dance type of kick, and, you know, figure out a different way to use a different type of sample for the snare. And it just converts into, you know, something different that you probably, you know, the groove is the same groove of a reggaeton track, the same tempo, but the sounds are not the same, so it totally changes your idea of it.
Bueno, la verdad, en este pack traté de plasmar un poco el sonido que he venido trabajando. Más allá de que suene lindo o que suene clean, lo que se busca son texturas. Sonidos diferentes, texturas diferentes, sensaciones diferentes al escuchar un beat o algo. Y me gusta mucho que se sienta como un viaje. Que uno pueda cerrar los ojos y sienta como que, wow, ¿dónde estoy? O estoy en otro lugar, o que pueda disfrutar la música más allá de escucharla y eso, como de sentirlo como tal y sentir que estoy en otra dimensión, no sé, me gusta ese viaje.
When I moved to New York in 2010, I felt like I wanted to make something that I just didn't hear what like the modern pop world was doing. Like, I think at the time what was popping was Lady Gaga and Katy Perry, and I felt like I wanted to make something that I could relate as a young female, and like something that spoke to me and something that I wanted to hear, which was like more kind of like darker, vibey, like R&B, kind of like almost like a rappy, singy vibe, because that's just what I thought was cool. So it became that fusion of those things that I loved, like Afrobeat, vibey, but Latin, and then R&B kind of all together. And then how do I make it pop?
I feel when I started to experiment and trying to, incorporate those different types of, kick sounds or snares or, synthesizers, just explore and do things that feel amazing to me, even though I think, people won't get it at the time, the artists won't understand exactly what it is, or they would rather play it safe. But, you'll find those people that are in your same mindset and, just want to do amazing music, amazing art, and, working with Wisin y Yandel, the iconic duo from Puerto Rico, given a chance to just show them some beats that felt dope to me, and having them do a song and, put that song out and, become Abusadora, and that becomes, something that's totally left side from what everybody else was doing, eventually ended up like winning my first Grammy. And, it's just amazing to see how when you put, your ideas out there and you just go with, what feels amazing to you and bet on yourself. I think that's the special part of it.
La verdad, siento que el género está en un constante como refresh, está como refrescándose cada cierto tiempo, con productores como Tainy, como Sky, e incluso artistas como Ra o Alejandro, que ahora ha sacado mucha música diferente, donde mezcla el house, donde mezcla algo más como synthwave.
I think honestly it's endless with reggaeton. I mean, you see a lot of stuff happening with kind of pop 80s Anglo elements mixing with the dembow, and you see like a lot of people doing a lot of interesting, cool things with it. I think we're gonna see a lot of like really cool like pop punk stuff happening around reggaeton. The net is endless because it is the biggest genre in the world right now. The fusions are just gonna go crazy from all different parts of the world.